Hi Goa Flowers, I'm Anita Goa and welcome to Total Body Yoga Stretch number 6. This one is specifically designed for runners, but anyone who does any kind of cardio activity is going to benefit from it. It will stretch your entire body, but the focus is on the lower body. There will be some twists as well, which is very beneficial in releasing tension through the shoulders and further tension from the hips. So I hope that it is helpful for you. Please let me know how it feels on your body in the comments below. And if you like it, give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends. All right, I'll see you on the mat. Have fun. All right, we're going to start in a child's pose. Your legs can either be together or your knees can come apart. You're going to drape your torso over your thighs and extend the arms out in front of you. It's important that you're feeling length through the sides of your body. You get a good stretch through your chest into your shoulders. Your head can rest on a block if that feels better for your neck and if it feels better for full complete breaths. Or you can rest your forehead onto the floor. Alright, so just find a position really where your upper body is completely dropping into your lower body. And then every time you inhale, try to inhale and feel like you're inflating your entire back body. And then you're exhaling and deflating your back body. Just keep repeating that. Inhale, inflate. And exhale, deflate. So this helps to release any tension in the back, lower back, middle back, upper back, neck and shoulders. Starts to stretch the knees and the ankles, the shins. Releases any tension in the upper buttocks also, if there's any there. And then gradually you're going to draw in through the abdomen and round your spine and come into a tabletop position where your arms are shoulder distance apart and the legs are hip distance apart. Keep your shoulders on top of your wrists. Exhale, round it into a cat stretch. Try to drop your head. Feel that your shoulders are drawing up and away from your ears. Separating the shoulder blades and shake your head out a little bit so that the neck feels free. Breathe right into that space between your shoulder blades. And then inhale, arch your spine, curl your toes under. Do that again. Exhale, round it into a cat stretch. Inhale, arch it to a cow. Exhale, round into a cat. Inhale, arch it to a cow. Then exhale, come back into that neutral spine. And from here, you're going to slide your right arm to the left. You're going to try to make sure that your hips are leveled and square to the floor. And see if you can rest your right ear and the outside of your right shoulder into the floor while you're pressing down into your shins. So this might feel a little bit like a New York pretzel. From here, you're going to extend the left arm forward like that child's pose. And then drop into your left shoulder. And rest completely into the right side of your head. Full breath in, full breath out. Full breath in, full breath out. Good. Then you're going to work your left hand back around the palm, press into the palm, and come back up into that tabletop position. And now we're going to repeat that on the other side. Slide the left arm to the right. Rest onto the outside of the left shoulder. Make sure that your hips are leveled, root down into your shins. Extend the right arm in front like that child's pose position. Relax into the left side of your head and then try to drop into your right shoulder. Breathe in fully. Exhale completely. So here we have a bit of a twist of the spine, which feels really good after running. There's also a wonderful opening up through the shoulders and the chest into the neck. So it's a great counterbalance for the upper body and all the work that the upper body is doing as well. So not just focusing on the legs, but we're getting there. Good, then gradually draw the arm back, ground the palm to the floor, and push through the right palm to come up. Yeah, move the arms forward, curl your toes under, and then draw your hips back into your heels. Keep the arms extended, and again, just like that child's pose, you're going to drape your torso over your thighs, rest your forehead to the floor or onto a block, but this time press back into your toes and into your feet so that you're getting a good stretch into the feet and getting into the Achilles tendon very gradually while creating lots of space in your chest, in your torso, and the side of your spine. Good. You want to withdraw, feel like you're dragging the arms along the floor, draw the navel in, and slowly roll yourself up, and then draw your knees together. Try to lift your hips and draw your feet together as well. So you're still keeping your toes curled under. See if you can sit on your heels and come to a position where your chest is lifted, head is over the shoulders, and shoulders are over the pelvis. Breathe in here. Full inhale and complete exhale. So hopefully now, sitting in this position, it feels like there's a lot of space in your upper body. So as we now get into your lower body, you'll be able to fully breathe and release any tension or any tightness that might be there. Good. If it's too much to sit in this position, you can point your feet and then sit down into a regular Virasana position. And this might feel tight too. So either sit a little bit higher or come a little bit lower. If it's really excruciating, remember you can always take a block and place it between your feet so that you're sitting up a little bit higher. It's not a position that you want to force, but you want to try to find a position where you can hold this for a few breaths so that you're stretching your shins and stretching the tops of the feet. Very, very important. Good, and slowly start to come out of it. We're going to work the arms to the front, shoulder distance apart, curl the toes under, and then slowly start to lift the knees off the floor. Draw the sitting bones to the ceiling. Create length through both sides of your spine. Just let your head drop. And now, as you keep the left knee bent, left heel off the ground, you're going to try to press the right heel into the floor. Just into a single calf stretch. Try to draw up through the toes and draw up through the quadricep so that you're getting some stretch into the calf and some strength into your shin. You're going to lift the right heel off the floor, keep the right knee bent, and then press the left heel into the floor. Try to lift the left toes off the floor, draw up through the left quad. So this gives you a really good stretch into the left calf and also strengthens the left shin as you keep the left toes off the floor. It's great for preventing shin splints. Then lift both heels off the floor and then see if you can lower both heels towards the floor. Remember, the heels do not have to touch. Try to keep your toes as lifted as possible and draw up through the kneecaps, up through the quads. Good. Then gradually we're going to step the right foot forward. Line the right knee over the ankle. And you're slowly going to lower the left knee into the floor. Point your left foot and you're going to come up. Shift your hips back so that you can readjust your pelvis. Get into the lower abdomen, draw it in and up. And then from there, feeling the length through both sides of your waist, try to send your hips forward. Let your breastbone lift, allow your shoulders to roll back. And be in a very comfy position here, where you're feeling a good stretch into the left side of your hip flexor and quad. You can hang out here, or you can interlace the left index finger on top of the right and stretch the arms away and then open up the chest. Full breath in, full breath out. Good, and gradually release the arms. Now either lower the left forearm to the floor or the palm onto the floor, or you can rest your forearm onto a block. Toe heel your right foot a little bit to the outside of the mat, and your right toes are pointing towards a 1 o'clock. See if you can send your hips forward a little bit more. And allow the right knee to open to the side. Keep your chest lifted. Bend the left leg and see if you can take a hold of that left foot. So maybe it is better to be up a little bit higher. I tend to like that, but there are those that like to be a little bit lower. All right, but the key here is to keep the chest lifted. And then feel the stretch into the left quad and hip flexor. So the heel can draw towards the buttocks, or the heel can draw away from the buttocks. Keep the chest open. Good. Then gradually draw yourself in, release the left leg and toe heel the right foot back into that low lunge position. And you're going to exhale it to a downward facing dog. Good. Inhale yourself to a plank pose. Exhale, lower the knees to the floor, point the feet. Lift through the lower belly, lift through your chest, and drop the hips towards the floor and find an upward facing dog, where your shoulders are on top of your wrist. Chest is lifted, roll the shoulders open. So this stretches the hip flexors really nicely and stretches the abdomen. Make sure your head can move. Exhale it to downward facing dog. Now step the left foot forward to a low lunge. And lower the right knee to the floor, point the foot, come up and send your hips back. Readjust the pelvis so your lower abs are active, and then gradually as your chest lifts, feel both sides of your waist elongate, send your hips forward. Maybe rest the arms at the side of your body, so everything in the upper body is loose. Your head can move, you can fully breathe. You can hang out here or bring the arms behind your back, right index finger on top of the left. Lift the chest, roll the shoulders open. So you feel that stretch into the right side of your hip flexor quad, as well as into the shoulders and into the chest. Good, and gradually release, lower the hands to the floor, and now either keep the right palm on the floor, palm on a block, forearm on a block, forearm on the floor, wherever you want to be, and then toe heel the left foot to the outer edge of your left side of your mat. and turn your toes so that they're at 11 o'clock. Send your hips forward, so allow the knee to open to the side. Keep your chest lifted and bend the right leg. So now you can draw in the heel a little bit more towards the buttocks, and you have to draw up a little bit more into the abs, or you can send your hips a bit more towards the floor and draw the heel away. You're going to feel the stretch through the quad a little bit differently. So you can get the upper a little bit more and then the lower as well. Good. And then gradually release, toe heel the left foot to the center, come back into that low lunge, and exhale it to a downward facing dog. Ah, yeah, feels good. Inhale it to plank. Exhale, lower knees to the floor, point the feet. Inhale, draw up through the navel, lift through the breastbone. Allow the hips to drop as you roll the shoulders open. Breathe in fully. Exhale completely. Exhale it into a child's pose. Very good. Try to notice if your child's pose feels a little different. And then roll yourself up, vertebrae by vertebrae. And notice if your hero pose feels a little different from that movement. All right, we're going to sit down to the floor, but we're actually going to come to the front of our mat. Make sure that you have a strap with you in case you need it. And we're going to roll down to the floor, vertebrae by vertebrae. See that your spine is resting completely into the floor, so readjust your pelvis so your lower back is grounded. Keep your right leg bent, and you're going to work the left leg into a half happy baby. Take the left hand to the inside of the foot, and you're going to try to draw your knee towards your left armpit. If this is challenging, take a rope and place it around the foot and hold. So just give yourself some leverage. That's fine. It's important that you try to keep the left leg as close to your waist as possible. Feel free to straighten out that right leg if that feels okay. And keep anchoring down that right hip. From here, try to gradually extend your left leg out. All right, so keep using the rope to help you. If you can, hold on to the foot. But you'll feel a good stretch into the left hamstring here as well as into the inner thigh. And it continues to stretch the hip flexor. All while breathing. Keep breathing. Good, and slowly start to bring the leg back into that half happy baby pose. Now you're going to take the right hand to the strap. I'm going to bend my right leg a little bit, and we're going to roll over onto the right hip. So we're going to extend the left leg to the side and try to stack our hips on top of each other here. So try to draw that left hip away. Maybe the right leg needs to be bent. Maybe the right leg can extend. Once you're in the position where the left leg is extending to the right and the right leg is extending to the front, or as an extension of your body, lift your right shoulder blade off the floor and try to drop your left shoulder blade into the floor. So here you got a pretty deep stretch for your left hamstring, for the IT band, the upper buttocks, as well as a very deep spinal twist. Good. And gradually bend the left leg and work your way back to the center. Here you have to bend the legs and readjust your pelvis. Okay? Keep your left leg bent and draw the right knee towards the right armpit. Hold your right hand to the inside of the knee so your foot faces up. And then again, like on the other side, use a rope if you need it. Left leg can remain bent, or you can extend it if both of your hips are leveled. Alright, just keep breathing. Put yourself in a position where you can breathe. Feel both of your shoulders leveled off into the floor as well. And then from here, see if you can straighten the leg out. So it's straightening out on a diagonal. Deep stretch into the hamstring. You get the calf there a little bit too, especially if you draw your toes towards your shin. And you get deep into the inner thighs. Keep rooting down into this left hip. Good. And gradually come back into that half happy baby. Bend the left leg to help you to turn over onto your left hip. And then cross the right leg across the body so you're stacking your hips on top of each other. Try to keep the right leg straight. And then from there, lift the left shoulder blade off and drop the right shoulder blade down. And see if you can straighten out the left leg. Alright, so super deep stretch for the spine. Super deep stretch for the IT band as well as the hamstring and the upper glutes. So you get a lot in one stretch here. Full breath in, full breath out. Good, and slowly bend the left leg, come back to the center. Ground both feet into the floor so that you can readjust your pelvis. Draw the knees into your chest. Relax the shoulder blades. Then cup your hands around your knees. Lift your head. Draw the legs away so that your arms are extended. Draw in through your abdomen. And then try to roll yourself up to a seated position. And if it doesn't happen by itself, you need to use your legs and your abs. But if you need a little help, use a little momentum to come up. But try to work on using your abs and the support of your legs to come up. Yes, very good. All right, extend your legs out in front of you. Sit to the tips of your sitting bones. Maybe here you need to keep your knees bent. Maybe you have to put your strap around your feet, but keep your chest lifted and then slowly start to hinge forward from your hips and drape your torso over your thighs. All right, maybe initially you feel very much of a stretch into your lower back, maybe middle back, and just hang out there and breathe. And as you start to feel like you can straighten the legs out a little bit more, try to straighten them out a little bit more. All while keeping the chest lifted, the shoulders rolled open. And trying to keep the torso as flushed to the thighs as possible. If you feel better, just resting the arms at the side of your body, you can do that. Feel free to sway a little bit side to side. And just creating a little bit more space into the hamstrings. And gradually come up Cross your right foot in front of the left foot. Sit to the tips of the sitting bones and then exhale, just hinge it forward. This is a good stretch for the hips in general. Great release for the back. And come up. Left foot in front of the right. Sit up tall and hinge it forward. And gradually come up. I hope that this feels good for your lower body or in your upper body in general. Keep up the good work. I'll see you next time. Bye.